We're live.
Last show, Rocco did a great segment on Michael Jackson. Here's part 2 of the Michael Jackson story from one of his biggest fans, Rocco Passafume.
Thank you very much, Howie. This is the second part of retrospective on Michael Jackson's career. This will definitely be the most important part of it. This is the part where people are most, they really got to know Michael Jackson's talent, which is the 80s. He, being an adult performer, he worked with Quincy Jones, and he really got the ball rolling right away with his 1979 album Off the Wall. He managed to be the first performer to score 4 top 10 hits off of one album, which is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, which were both #1 hits, as well as the title track and She's Out of My Life. And things were just building and building on for probably his crowning achievement, which is the Thriller album, which came out in 1982 and spawned a record 7 top 10 hits, ranging from The Girl Is Mine to Beat It and Billie Jean, which both went to #1, Want to Be Starting Something, Human Nature, PYT, and the title track. And there's so many groundbreaking moments that happened with Michael Jackson with this album. It became the biggest selling album of all time. It raised the bar for music videos, exponentially between Billie Jean and Beat It and Thriller. And it just really just changed, what people were expecting from pop stars at the time. The industry wasn't really doing that well at the time. Like the average album sold about 2 million albums, at that time. But Michael Jackson raised the bar so high that everybody benefited off of that, and it really created it fueled this renaissance in pop music in the 1980s completely. And Michael Jackson just continued to get bigger and bigger. He did a charity single which had every performer that was big in America at the time on it. We Are the World. He created a collective with that called USA for Africa, and the song was very huge, became probably the biggest hit of 1985, won Grammys. And, by the later half of the 80s, he came back with the Bad album, which also continued doing very, very well for Michael Jackson. He scored 5 #1 hits off of one album, ranging from I Just Can't Stop Loving You to Bad to The Way You Make Me Feel to Man in the Mirror to Dirty Diana. So he really just had a phenomenal time in the 80s. There was probably nobody bigger than Michael Jackson in the 1980s. And to back that up, he when he toured in the late 80s for the Bad album, it was a monster hit. He just proved again and again that he just was a phenomenal performer at the peak of his career. And it shows what we love about Michael Jackson, whether it's the singing, the songwriting, the production on his records, and he just managed to create a body of work in the 1980s that just was incredible. And I think it's something that we all remember to this day, and is often still imitated in popular music even now. I mean, you look at performers now like Justin Timberlake or Rihanna or Justin Bieber. There's so many performers that still use Michael Jackson's formula for pop success as their textbook. So it just really shows that how much Michael Jackson achieved, and particularly in the 1980s especially. So that wraps up that portion of that. I will do the concluding part of our segment on what happened with Michael Jackson's career after the 1980s, which will be just as interesting, I promise you. So thank you very much.
Great job, Rocco!
Yes.
Woohoo! All right, now you want to do the review?
Yes.
All right, he's up and rolling.